We think that, okay, so I'm a video coach and I got to show people like, my bedroom or my makeup routine, even if I don't have one. Or no, you can speak about, your topic or your expertise or whatever it is that you do specifically. And so pick something and break it down into 5 sections, right? And give me a tip a day based on that. Simple and easy, not too hard. And I promise you, you'll see a difference. When you start showing your face, your people will start like responding to you. I follow some accounts where I never even knew what these people looked like. And when they popped up, I was like, oh, well, no wonder I've never really bought anything from you because I don't ever see you. I can't see you to trust you or to love you. So, there's that layer of just getting started with something as simple as Instagram stories. Even if you're afraid of doing reels or TikTok stories is a great place to start. And the other thing that I would recommend is going live. It's in your hand. When I say there's no editing to do, there is no nothing. There's no barrier stopping you, but the things that you're telling yourself about the mess that you have going on, right? I just want to encourage people to not let their mess block the message that's going to transform someone else's life.
You're listening to the Black to Business podcast, an educational podcast providing Black entrepreneurs with the tools and resources to start and grow their businesses. We chat with vetted Black entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and business owners as they provide tips and resources to help take your business to the next level. I'm your host, Monique T. Marshall. Okay, so before we get into today's episode, I have to be honest and share with you that I'm guilty of wishing that this popular trend of today's topic would go away. But unfortunately, the market demand is only increasing, and that trend is video content. So I recently read on HubSpot where they conducted a survey and found that approximately 54% of consumers state that they would like to watch more video content from brands that they support. Plus, other research shows that people don't want to just read content. They want to watch it because it's more engaging. And I have to be honest and say that I'm still not a big fan. However, one of the things we talk about often here on the podcast and in business in general is that your business must evolve to survive. And I know that we're here for the long haul. So if that means introducing video content in our business, then we are in. So with that being said, we wanted to invite someone who could show us the ropes when it comes to video marketing, someone who's an expert. Joining us today on the show is visual content creation coach XayLi Barclay. And we invited XayLi on the show because besides the fact that she is an awesome quality content creator, through her own platform, she really has a record of breaking down her methods and strategies in a way that's digestible for her audience. We love a good step-by-step over here, so it's such a treat that XayLi agreed to be on the show to share with you some ways that you can use video content in your business and also introduce it in a way that isn't overwhelming and it isn't intimidating. And if you're listening right now and you're thinking, I'm already doing videos, stick around because we have some nuggets for you too. Like making sure that you're producing the right kinds of content that will resonate with your audience. There are so many styles of videos to choose from when it comes to creating content and producing videos for your business, whether it's your first or 15th video. However, not every option is right for every business. So keep listening to find out what will work for you to get started and take your content to the next level. Before we get into today's episode, I want to announce that we've reopened the applications for our directory, The Connect. We're looking for businesses that provide professional services that will be beneficial to our target audience of entrepreneurs who are in their startup journey. So if that sounds like your business, you may now submit your business to be listed by visiting blacktobusiness.com/theconnect. Applications are open every 4 months, and we're now accepting applications for businesses for 2022. So to give you a little more information about the directory and how you can apply, the reason we created the Connect is to provide business owners with the resources needed to grow their businesses. And being that Black to Business is a platform that assists aspiring Black entrepreneurs with the tools and resources to start and grow their businesses, we are often asked for recommendations for industry experts who can assist these entrepreneurs with their business needs. So we wanted to create a solution. We want to include businesses who are doing the work. And if that sounds like you, we want to help promote your business to assist you in increasing your exposure, but also letting people know about the work that you're doing to continue to push forward Black-owned businesses. So head over to blacktobusiness.com/deconnect to apply. Now let's get into the episode. XayLi, welcome to the Black to Business podcast. I am so ready for today's discussion, so welcome.
Thank you, Monique. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Of course. So I want to start off, if you could just introduce yourself briefly, tell us a little bit of your story. How did you get where you are today, and what is it that you do in your business?
Yes. Well, I am XayLi Barclay. I'm a video content creator, but I'm also a video content creation coach. I love helping people stand out. And I really love working with people who are in the online space, who are selling digital products, creating online courses and masterclasses and all that jazz. I am currently in a bit of a pivot, really focusing on helping visionaries, leaders, and all the people who go through imposter syndrome when it comes to getting on camera. Yes. So that's what I typically do, but I love helping people to really build their audiences, market their products and services, and sell from the camera.
Love it, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today, which is how to use video to build, market, and sell in your business.
Yes.
So I want to start off by discussing visual content creation. And if you could just explain what it entails, and well, let's start there.
Yeah. So visual content creation, I've been teaching this since late 2014.
Wow.
And yes. And it's getting more and more, listen, we can't escape it anymore. Right. And so you asked how I started. So I'll start with that. Just a really visual person, which comes into why I love visual content creation, but I am a creative at heart. And so I started out really loving makeup and fashion and all of those things. And I remember just being on Facebook. I've been blogging since 2007. And even being on Facebook, I felt like, wow, like, when are you guys going to have pictures? I was one of the really early people on Facebook, because remember when it was only for .edus and all of that stuff. I'm telling my age here. But so in that, and then pictures came. And then I was like, wow, like, I wish that, it could become even more visual. So I think just in my imagination from early, I've been craving video content. And so when video became more available, I love pictures, which is also a form of visual content, graphics, infographics, but you can do all of that in a video. And so video content creation is the most powerful form of visual content creation. So I moved over from beauty blogging into teaching others how they can really stand out on camera, how to present themselves, how to speak confidently. And in that journey, diving deeper, I really understood that people were so afraid of, one, getting on camera, but also people got caught up with content, just content on the whole, and not realizing that content is actually content marketing, right? Yes. So
let's talk about that.
Yes. So it's content marketing, and you're even marketing yourself or your products and services. So a lot of people just don't connect their content to their marketing. And if you are able to do that and sprinkle that on top of just the aspect of visual or video content, it's so much more powerful for actually bringing results into your business.
Yes. And I want to talk about also, because you mentioned that people are scared to get on camera. But I first want to talk about the fact that there are different types of video content. And could you just kind of talk about those different types?
Of course. I like to break it down into 5 parts. And so for me, when I think about video content and I'm looking at someone's brand, looking at what they're doing, I'm probably doing I forgot what you call it. Just a review of what someone is doing, and so I can see the holes or the places that they're missing. Creating a specific type of content. I think about one, foundational content, which is really that content that is layered on top of, each other, like a series or something, to really get your audience understanding that you are the expert. So it creates a foundation for your product or service, right? So it can be just stacked of, a series based on a product that you have, that you're planning on selling. It can be a few videos that that's directly related to a specific product or service or conversation, right? So foundational content is really educational content as well, right? So you're educating your customer along the journey on why you are the person that they should specifically buy from. Now, when we go further along that journey, we also have financial content. A lot of people aren't getting up and selling, right? They're not asking for that sale. So you want to think about financial video content. Are you specifically asking for the sale? Right. Yes. And then I love thinking about also functional video content. So functional video content is for the purpose of getting us out there. Right. So your functional video content is the content that might go viral. Right. So it's for a specific function in the business, meaning that it's going to grow your marketing legs. Like it's going to get an audience that didn't think about you before to see you or to find you. And I would think about like reels as in functional video content, or shorts from YouTube shorts or TikTok, because we're not able to really fully educate there. So, that's how I think about functional video content. Sometimes I might do something on my YouTube channel that's out of the norm, but it's so that another audience can then get introduced to me and led to that foundational content where they get really good information that is about the same topic specifically. And then I ask for their emails and all of that jazz, right? There's also fun video content, which adds that layer of personality into your business so that people can actually get to like you, right? Or start understanding a bit more of who you are, probably outside of what you do, or, it just layers in community there. I love going live for fun content. Live can be any of these. So it can be foundational, it can be fun, it can be financial, it can be functional, but fun content is for your people, it's for your community. And that's where you really get to communicate and see who's really here and who's taking in that content and enjoying what you're putting out. Those are the people that you'll get feedback from, that you can ask about, products and services. Like, guys, what do you want next? Those people. So fun content is for your core community, really, right? And last is live content. So, those 5 things, but live is a really powerful leg right now. And I suggest that you don't sleep on it. It's scary. Yes, I hear that.
Yes.
Right. So live is really powerful. And so even for me, I'm such a perfectionist, which has kept me back in so many ways. And I was going to say that cute recovering perfectionist word, but listen, perfection is work. Like it it's kind of like fair, right? Where, the higher you go, the more perfection you want to exude. And so, the higher you go, your fares change, or it's just, you got to monitor perfection. But saying that to say that I love pre-recorded because I am essentially working on my perfectionism. And with pre-recorded, we can edit, we can shape shift some more. We can create things in different ways. But with live, if you mess up, you mess up. And I had to fall in love with live, right? So it's so essential because I can see the difference in my business, making sure that I integrate live video into, my content strategy. So yeah.
Oh, that's also, I want to definitely dive into those more. So I have foundational content, the financial, the functional, the fun, and the live content.
Yes.
Love it. So now, would you say that someone who is just starting out, or they're like, that person is like, I am not wanting to be on video, but I know I can't escape it, like you said, would it be they have to implement all of these, or what would you recommend people kind of like figure out where to start?
I love that question. I will say, to be really honest, business is about seasons, right? And so I just released a YouTube video based on this. No, sorry, I am releasing a video based on this. So, but I'm going to give this info here, right here only. I feel like your business is about seasons. And sometimes what we do is we try to attack all of the seasons at one time. We don't say, well, listen, in this 3 months or for the next quarter, I am going to audience build. And for the quarter after that, then I'll start preparing my audience for a sale. And then for the quarter after that, I might go into nurturing my audience, nurturing the people that have bought from me. Or we don't think about it like that. We try to do all of the things at the same time.
Yes.
And so my question for you when thinking about this is at what season am I in my business? Am I in a season where I'm really looking to increase my audience? Am I looking to increase my sales next quarter? When we think about Jeff Bezos, he really took a year and decided he wasn't going to focus on sales. Like, oh, if sales were coming in, that's cool. But I'm going to focus on getting this company together, cleaning up the back end, cleaning up in-house. And so when we think about our own small businesses, how can you actually do that? So figure out your season. It depends on your season. So if you know that you are looking to audience build, I would suggest functional videos, right? So that you get out there, but with a mixture of foundational videos so people understand who you are, because you don't want to put a video out there about cleaning and you don't have a cleaning service, right? Or multiple videos out there about cleaning and you don't have a cleaning service. So when people start asking you for, a cleaning guide and that's not what you're really doing, I don't know where that I was cleaning earlier. Maybe that's where that came from.
Well,
yes. So you have to really think about, what you're offering. And in that season, you can decide, okay, so I'm going to do, excuse me. Ooh, need a sip of water here. I'm going to do functional videos, right? And I'm also going to do foundational videos so people know. Now, if you're going through a period where you're launching, then for this month, I'm only going to do foundational videos because I want to educate my audience to the sale. Right. So yes. So it's different. Right. And then when you've educated them, you might want to release a few financial videos where you're saying, listen, this is what I have to offer. Now, I really want to preface and say that with financial, sometimes you don't have a product yet and you're just building your list. And I consider that financial as well. Right. So because building your list is going to lead you to more income.
Yes.
So just a thought there. But yes, I hope that was helpful, Monique.
that was perfect. I'm asking because also for myself and also for my listeners, because I am that person that's like, I do not want to get on video, but like you said, you cannot escape it. And I'm understanding that you can't. So creating a strategy. And I think that what you just did is always going back to the fact that we have to lay a brick every day and create a strong foundation. And it's a process. So like you said, Jeff Bezos could take a year off, but also you did mention that, for those business owners are like, I cannot take a whole year and not focus on sales.
No, I agree.
Yes.
That was Jeff. Not us.
Jeff. Yes. So you also mentioned that you had to learn to like live video. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Like I said, I would really want to be in control of just the process. So be in control of okay, I said something that I might not like and I can edit that out. Right. I can remove that or I can trim that down. And so with live video, what happens is whatever happens. Right. I think that, and I'll speak to the people here, a lot of us are concerned about saying the wrong thing on live. I mean, cancel culture is alive and thriving, right? So there's that fear of, what if I say something wrong on live? The second thing that people get caught up with when it comes to live video is, okay, so if I say this and it's wrong, the other experts in my industry are going to think I'm stupid or I don't know what I'm talking about and that's also a thing to where, we are all learning and growing. And that expert that you're thinking about is probably thinking about the same thing when they're doing a live video. And the other thing about it is that's where you have to tap into heart space and start asking yourself, am I creating for the other experts in my industry? Or am I creating for a specific audience who really needs my help and probably doesn't know a lot about the topic that I'm talking about, right? So it's really a shift of focus in your business. And so when I started embracing those things, like, listen, I'm speaking to my audience here. They want to hear what I have to say. So that other experts are not even listening to what I'm doing, especially if they're in my industry. Like they may not be listening to what I'm saying. So, but also understand that if you say something wrong, come back on live again and say, hey guys, well, I was researching this and what I found was nothing is wrong with us saying, hey, I want to fix this. So it's just that with live, a lot of people think about the things that they are afraid of doing wrong, or, like just the things that might come out that, or with live, we're probably also concerned about the way we look, or, what if my kid runs into the background? What if my dog barks?
Yes.
So many different things. Exactly. And what I love about live video is that the lack of control that you have is actually what gives your audience relatability to you. Because they probably have kids as well. They probably have dogs as well.
Yeah.
So all of the things that you're thinking can go wrong is actually, what can or might go right. I remember I was launching a product some time ago, and I had moved into a new apartment, and my neighbors next door, they would fight, girl. Like they would rumble and, curse each other out. It was just a mess.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Right. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm hosting a live 3-day workshop where I'm about to kill it and give so much value. What if they start? So I started listening to see like what time they would fight, because
that's hilarious.
Like, do you guys go to work? Like, what's going on here? And it was vicious. Like they would be banging into my wall in my studio space. And I actually even considered like canceling my lease off of that. But guess what I did?
What did you do?
Girl, I got onto my emails and I said, listen, guys, I just moved, and listen, my neighbors are crazy. Like, I don't even let's hope that we get through this thing, and if we don't, you guys have a heads up. So I put it on all my socials. I put it on all my, my emails and all of that going out. And I kid you not, people came just to see if my neighbors were fighting. And our sales are through the roof. Exactly.
I love that. I love that. That's very authentic. That's very it's real life, things you can't control.
Yes. And so just being honest is such a beautiful policy. They say honesty is the best policy. Yes, it is. So in doing that, I became even more relatable. People were responding to the emails like, girl, I hope that they don't fight. Or, girl, I'm wishing you luck before before the class starts. I hope they don't. And, thankfully they've moved out. But, it was just I just had to be honest about it. And so, things like that help.
Yes. And I think that COVID happening and everyone being inside virtual, I think people just kind of got over that.
Yes.
You hear things in the background and it's just like, you're human.
Exactly. We all are.
Yes. I love that though. And who knows, you probably got a good bit of sales from that.
I know. I did. That's what I'm saying. Like the attendance was crazy. The interaction was crazy, and so it may not only have been that, but that layer of transparency in that moment, I know it increased the full on experience that people were, going through. And it really, really was helpful.
I love it. So I want to talk about some ways that entrepreneurs can start to implement video content creation in their business, gradually. And just the fact that it can benefit them to build that trust, and know factor, and also become the leader in their industry. So what are some tips and advice that you could give for someone who's like, okay, I'm going to do it. I want to start slow.
Yes. The first thing that I would recommend is Instagram stories. Right. So get started with, some Instagram stories. I know it's hard, but show your face, say hi to your audience once a day or 3 times a week. You really, really have to commit to just sharing a little bit as you go along. Get on Instagram stories. And I know it's hard to probably pick something to talk about. So a lot of people this is a problem. We follow so many influencers that are Yes. So we think that, okay, so I'm a video coach and I got to show people like, my bedroom or my makeup routine, even if I don't have one. Or no, you can speak about, your topic or your expertise or whatever it is that you do specifically. And so pick something and break it down into 5 sections, right? And give me a tip a day based on that. Simple and easy, not too hard. And I promise you, you'll see a difference. When you start showing your face, your people will start like responding to you. I follow some accounts where I never even knew what these people looked like. And when they popped up, I was like, oh, well, no wonder I've never really bought anything from you because I don't ever see you. I can't see you to trust you or to love you. So, there's that layer of just getting started with something as simple as Instagram stories. Even if you're afraid of doing reels or TikTok stories is a great place to start. And the other thing that I would recommend is going live. It's in your hand. When I say there's no editing to do, there is no nothing. There's no barrier stopping you, but the things that you're telling yourself about the mess that you have going on, right? I just want to encourage people to not let their mess block the message that's going to transform someone else's life.
Oh, I had to write that down because that is a quote right there. So, thank you for that. And you are so right. You're stepping on my toes because I'm like, what am I going to talk about when I go live? And I'm following people that I don't even follow. I'm looking like, okay, this person looks like they go live.
Yes.
What did they first start talking about? So I like that you said the breaking it down into 5 pieces of content. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Now, XayLi, how do you pick which platform you should create content on? Because I know you're active on YouTube. Should you pick YouTube, Facebook, Instagram? How do you decide?
Yeah, this is a really good question. There are a few factors that help me kind of choose or decide where I want to create content based on. The first thing is when I think about business, because I'm just for the business owners here, you have to think about content, how is your content living? I see so many people doing Instagram videos and they die, so I love Instagram. It's one of my power platforms. For me, my power platforms are YouTube and Instagram, but that Instagram content just dies. Somebody is more than likely not seeing traction from a video they did a month ago. So I like to think about as a business owner, I'm saying, I like to think about my primary platform. Can I send people to that video later on? Can it still garner views on its own? Can it still work for me while I'm sleeping? So I like to think about things like that. And for me, that is YouTube. So I start with YouTube and I transcribe my video into a blog, which is also primary content because I could, that can get picked up by SEO, that can get picked up in different ways, even as time goes along. So I like to think about it like that. How can this be repurposed? Is it working for me while I'm not working? Because I do not want to be glued to my computer selling all day. And I also like to think about where is my audience? So are they on YouTube? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? What's my audience's demographics? What's the age group? I wouldn't think that on TikTok, you're going to find a huge audience that is over 60, right? I mean, you might find a few gems on there, but
nowadays they're on there.
That part. It's growing for sure. And so that's another thing. I love that you mentioned that. You also have to pay attention to what's going on, right? So for me, I love search-based content. I feel like it will always be, we naturally are inquisitive and we naturally search, right? So I'm always searching, I'm always Googling. And so YouTube is obviously owned by Google, right? So, that gives you instant access to. Now, in saying that, I'll preface with, I don't know where Instagram video is going. I don't, because they're just trying to do everything, honey. But
they are. They really are.
Yes, that's the thing. For me as a business owner, even when I step away from Instagram, I love that I could pre-record 5 videos and upload to YouTube, stay away for a month, and I'm still garnering views and traction on YouTube. For me, sometimes Instagram gets a bit overwhelming, although it's an amazing platform. I like to be able to step back a bit and not worry about if my sales are going to decrease or if, my email list is going to stop growing. So it's really like, you really have to think about those factors. Where is my audience? Right? Is this going to work for my business or business model? Because I can tell you, you can be doing a lot on Instagram and you step away, your sales are more than likely going to drop unless you're doing paid ads or something. Right. So,
yeah. And speaking of, sales and ads, it's important to speak about the fact that people can use this to monetize and grow their businesses. So I want to talk about some of the different ways that those who are listening can think about monetizing and growing their business through video content creation.
Yes, there are so many ways that you can monetize and grow with video content. You can get paid, doing brand sponsorships. Even if you have a small audience, if you know exactly who you're speaking to and you're showing up, listen, you can get paid. For me, all of my income streams are always changing, but sponsored content definitely is a huge way that I make money. Also monetizing your workshops, your master classes, that's you getting on camera and selling, right? Or sharing. So workshops can work you just got to be intentional. Am I creating workshops to lead people to buying something? Or am I selling a workshop? Or am I doing both, right? So that's monetization in itself as well. You can also get paid from platforms, right? So getting paid from YouTube. I get paid from YouTube. You can also get paid from Instagram now. They're kind of trickling that in, but I've been getting paid from YouTube for years. So, so there's so many ways to, monetize with video content, even your marketing. So you're getting people off of YouTube. I'm getting paid from YouTube, and I'm getting people off the platform onto my email list and asking about my products and services, right? So there's so many ways, webinars. There's so many things that you're missing if you're afraid to get on camera. So much money. You're missing bags.
Yes. And would you say the benefit for you also has been knowing your platform to focus on? And then because someone may be listening and they're thinking I have to have a huge audience to do that. Tell me why that's not true.
Oh, it's not true at all. Even for the people that I listen to people all the time and people are like, well, I'm not monetized on YouTube. Well, you have not monetized yourself, darling. What are you selling? Because like I said, you can create foundational content and then upsell something, right? Or sell something as it pertains to being on YouTube. So for me, I get paid more with the money I make in my business than YouTube can ever pay me, right? So it's okay, I'm getting paid on YouTube, but I also run a 6-figure business. And so, they can definitely grow. My money can grow on YouTube, but listen, I'm pulling people off of that platform because I have a plan for them. So that's the real key. I have less than 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and I run a 6-figure business. So you really have to just decide, what am I coming with as it pertains to these platforms? So you can. The other thing is I want to encourage you because companies will work with you if you're super crystal clear on who your audience is. Even if you have a small audience, that's totally fine. They will work with you as long as your audience is in alignment with their audience and the people that they are looking to attract. And the key is that if someone can see you, see how you handle yourself on camera, why wouldn't they work with you, right? Because if you're on camera, you can command the camera, you can, you're guaranteed to be growing your audience. You're guaranteed to be creating a deeper connection with your people. So for me, if I'm looking for influencers to promote my brand, I don't want you if you're not on camera because I know that your connection to your audience might not be that great.
That's interesting. Yeah, I agree because people love people.
Yes, so, exactly.
I agree. And I want to talk about, because you have quality content and you are, one of the things I notice about you is you are very consistent. So this is a lot for someone who may be listening. They may think it's a lot. So how do you stay consistent, or what advice can you give to those who are listening to stay consistent with their content creation? And what are some of the reasons that you feel that they aren't being consistent?
Yeah. You know what? I love that. I love that you said that, Monique, because I don't feel like I'm consistent. Right?
I always see you.
But I'll tell you why. Because it's at a point where it's become so effortless because I'm able to pre-record videos. So you think I'm consistent. For me, I probably recorded those videos a month ago, maybe. I'm kidding. I probably did. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So let's not equate consistency with, like, I'm running and I got to show up. I got to get on camera every day, because it's not like that. So consistency is about setting a number and saying, I'm going to show up once per week for the month. That means I need 4 videos. Simple. Remember those 5 topics that we spoke about that you can break down on Instagram stories? What about expanding on them on YouTube? Right? Because people are going to have questions. So that's, you can pre-record those 4 videos and schedule them to go out. Like, I have a video planner that is specifically for that. You're creating 12 videos per quarter and you can still grow. You can still monetize. So, think about, first of all, the consistency. How often do I want to show up? And don't come say, girl, I'm going to show up 5 days a week, because no, you're not.
Right.
You might do that for a week and then you're going to be like, right? So that's the first thing. So it's really about building your muscle. The other thing when it comes to consistency is, I know that if I'm not showing up, that is going to affect my income. And if I am, that is also going to affect my income, right? So if you want to shift from where you are right now, get on camera. That alone keeps me consistent. Just knowing that, wow, I'm really focused on growing my business, and I know I cannot grow my business without getting on camera. And like you said, Monique, being consistent for my people.
Yes. And it's also sounding like, people we talk about a lot is batching. And then it allows you to also show up, like maybe do a live, because you've already planned that content. And I kind of do the same thing with podcasts. I try to be like 2 months ahead when they go. But it allows for so much other things to take place. And, sometimes it's a lot of work on the front end, but the relief.
Yeah, exactly. You're so right. Yes. So that's what I do. I'll sit down and I'll batch, whether it's 2 to 4 videos, and I know I'm ahead. The other thing that I love about that is that I can craft my sales, knowing that, okay, so I spoke about this month, right? How am I tying that back into my email list, into my sales? What are we selling specifically? So I like working backwards when it comes to my video content. I feel like working forwards is where people get in trouble, right? So working backwards from your business goals, always tie, which is why in the beginning I spoke about content marketing, because you should be tying your business goals back to your content. Meaning that if I ask someone, how much do you want to make a month from your business consistently? And you tell me you want to make, I want to make $10,000, and you're not showing up at all, or the marketing that you do have out there is not connected to educating your customer or nurturing them along the way, then I will tell you that's impossible. Right. Unless you go viral for some reason, which is, unicorn situations. Not everybody is able to.
Yes. And XayLi, what advice would you have for those who are afraid, or what do you think are some of the mindset shifts that need to happen to get over this fear of putting themselves out there, getting on camera? So what's some of the mindset shifts?
There are so many mindset shifts. I just want to say to you, the person that is listening to this, you are enough right now, right? You are enough right now, and you have enough information right now to start. And one mindset shift that I had to make myself is that I need to do the thing in order to get the answers that I'm looking for. So sometimes we are planning. And I will tell you right now, the plans that you're making, you need your audience to guide you. And if you're not putting anything out there, what you think that they want may not be what they want. So you have to really start doing something and ask for feedback. Ask your people, what do they like? Ask your, really be in touch with your community. When you tie your goal to your community, that's what's really going to make a difference for you in your business. Because yeah, that's a mindset shift that you need to shift into serving, right?
I love that.
So
Yes.
yes, whenever I shift into serving, I'm not even selling. Like, how am I serving my people today? That's what I think about. Anytime I get scared or nervous, which I do, which people are like, girl, stop. I do. Right? But when I shift into a service mindset, that just melts away and I get lit up and excited about what I, love to do. The second thing is stop comparing yourself to other people. We all know comparison is a thief of all
Yes.
joy. Right? So it's easy to look at somebody else's set, what somebody else is doing, what they have. It's easy to feel ashamed to use your phone. Your phone is the best tool that you could ever have. It's right in your hands. So start where you are. And as you go, you'll start learning what your audience wants from you. Communicate with your audience. Talk to them. You're doing this for them. I always say, I wouldn't be anywhere without the people that take in my content at all. And I do this for them.
Absolutely.
Right? Yes. So it's really about shifting into, I think even shift, like I could speak, listen, I could go on and on about mindset, but when you shift into service, for me, whenever I shift into service, I forget that I don't have on makeup. I forget that my background isn't perfect, right? I forget that, I might be a bit crusty this morning, but y'all need to get this message, so shifting into service helps me push past all of the barriers that I'm probably feeling.
Amazing. And you also mentioned, comparing to people's set, their background, using their phone. And I want to talk about creating quality video content. And that may not always be, how it looks.
Yes.
So what are some of the tips that you have for people to create quality content?
Of course. I think that the first thing for creating quality content is having a plan for it, right? So I have my P's. So you got my my F's earlier on, but now you're going to get my P's, right? So my P's are quality content. I need to ask myself, first of all, what is the purpose of this video? What is it doing? What should someone be able to walk away with or do before, you even start? Because a lot of us just, hey guys, I'm just hopping on live to, no, have a purpose, have a purpose for what you are sharing, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is your people. What do they need to specifically know in this video? What do they need to know? What are they feeling right now? What are they struggling with, right? Third thing is your pain. What is the pain that they're having? What are they probably like? What mind space are they in as it pertains to pain? I know, like my people, I know why they're not on camera. I know what they're struggling with. I know what they're probably thinking or overthinking about today. Like, cause I'm obsessed with my people. So you have to know your people and you have to know the pain that they're going through. Right. And then you make a plan, like we're speaking about now. You make a plan for your video. So, okay, I'm going to talk to my people about these 3 points today or this 1 point today. I like to stick between 1 to 3 points. I think pushing past that is probably too much, right? So map out your 3 points that you're going to speak about in your video so that your people, are able to digest that and leave them wanting more. You're a creator. You can create a new video tomorrow, right? Or next week. So having a plan for that, then I'll move into presentation, which is like, okay, so what tools am I going to use? Am I going to use my phone? Do I need to set that up on a tripod? Do I need a simple microphone? Do I need a ring light? Am I standing in front of a window? But you can see that I put presentation at number 5 because so many people overthink. They put presentation first. I can't start creating videos until I have a fancy camera and a nice backdrop. No, start with the first 4, right? Because that's what's most important. And, if you're not showing up with your phone, do not go buy a camera because you ain't going to show up with that either.
That is true. I think I got to quote that one too.
I'm just saying, if you can't show up with your camera or you can't use what you have to show up and make more sales in your business, you're not going to use a tool that you don't even know how to set up and use. So please don't get fooled by that at all. And the last one I would say is practice. Practice. Do this thing over and over and over and over and over, right? But if you follow that formula, it kind of helps you understand, okay, so I know how to, that you can even use it to craft your video, right? So your purpose of the video, your people, who am I speaking to, the pain, what are they struggling with? Then you head into a plan. What am I speaking about? You head into your presentation. What am I using? Where am I talking from today? Am I going outside? Am I sitting inside? What's easy? What's easy? Just think about what's easiest for them to get this message, and then practice. You keep doing that over and over again.
I love that. And it's true, because it's like people use those excuses like, I don't have the right camera. Now, with the advancement of phones, you can definitely use, whether it's an Android, but
exactly.
they definitely have great quality content video. So I want to talk about some of the equipment to have when creating content. I know we talked about, your cell phone. What are some of the things that people should, kind of, I guess, progress into?
Yeah. You start with your phone. I call it your start set. Your start set, listen, my start set consisted of a tiny space in my living room, because I used to live in Brooklyn. I currently live in Dallas. And my poor boyfriend, because listen, I was like, this is my little space to do my videos, sir. Do not come over here. Right. So, it was a tiny space. I just had a ring light and my phone, and I started with that. Now, if I could go back and change anything, I would probably change audio. So I'd probably buy a lavalier microphone or use headphones, just so that, the sound was better. But that got me started. That you can hit six figures with that only. Right. So don't get caught up in I have to have all of the fancy things. I like saying with your start set is going to get you to your shoot set, right? Because my brand is Start, Shoot, Grow. So your start set is going to allow you to invest in your shoot set, which is a bit more advanced and might be just a webcam, right? So I like the Logitech Brio. I have a full equipment list somewhere on my website.
We'll link it
to the website and you'll find it. Yes. And so, your shoot set is where you would be able to upgrade a little bit, get a nice webcam, get a nicer microphone like a Yeti. You might be able to get soft box lighting, so you start upgrading as you go, but do not invest without actually validating what you're doing, right? So without validating that this is bringing you money, or do not invest. And your sound is most important in your video set. If your sound is not great, people will stick around for bad quality video, but bad quality sound I will click off your video. Yes. So that's something to pay attention to. And then your growth set is where you'll be able to invest in a DSLR, or you'll be able to invest in, a fancy camera with, a nice system. You might be able to get a better microphone. You might be able to get a bigger space to film in, right? Now I have a studio. I did not have a studio when I started years ago. So, you have to think about things like that. It's really stepping stones. And then I like to say your thrive set, because I think about it as Start, Shoot, Grow, Thrive would be your set that, you're able to probably just hire people to come in and do it all. I'm still working towards my thrive set.
Yes, I love that. I love that level.
Yeah, right? That part. But yes, so,
Now, XayLi, you have I've seen you go through different backdrops and backgrounds. So I want to talk about how do you create a good background, and tell the people they cannot have clutter. But how it's also not a one size fits all.
Oh, no, this is really good. Let me tell you, backdrops. When you're just starting out, just your white wall, your standard white wall in your home. Just have one blank wall. That's not too much to ask for, right, guys? And move the bra from the doorknob behind you. Remove it. Right?
That's funny. I have one.
Let it go. Move it. So I would say the less that you have behind you, the more that I can focus on you and really get into what you're saying, right? So even in that situation, people overthink their backdrops and people are really looking at you, right? So give them a chance to focus on you and what you're saying. Remove the clutter from the background. If you're able to stand away from the wall, that's even better because then you get that bokeh effect or that blurred background that everyone loves. So you're able to do that, but keep your background clean and simple. Like right now, the set that I have built right now, I like it, but I also miss just having a blue background.
Mm-hmm. I love that blue
So
background.
sometimes thank you. Like now I'm like, man, should I just go back to my just plain blue background without any shelves and things behind me, even though it's blurred out, So it's really preference. It's really preferential. Your backdrop, but if this is not your thing that you can easily do, just get behind a white wall. Or another upgrade from that would be to do your brand color. So Monique and I are speaking about my blue wall because I have a plain blue wall behind me. And so I love blue because it's so trusting and warm. And it's also one of my brand colors, but you can put up your brand color behind you, get some photography paper and stick it up. I used to, back in the day, let me tell you what I used to do. I used to buy, poster board.
Oh, wow.
Glue it to my wall. Okay. That was my step up of, I would have a plain white wall and I thought I was popping when I put my yellow poster board up in a corner and I would actually use that, so there's so many ways too. So I would use a plain yellow poster board. And it's so crazy because people would see that and they would say, oh my gosh, XayLi, like anywhere else I see a yellow background, I'm like, they got that from XayLi. And that's simple branding, right? Because obviously they didn't, but simple branding always made my people think about me just for that yellow poster board. So, your backdrops, it's not difficult. And like Monique said, move the clutter from behind you. I completely agree.
That will sound and the clutter I would click off. I would just click out.
Bye.
Yes. And another background I really like that you did, was the one where you had like the monitor behind you and it had like this neon color. I love that one.
Thank you. That is my current setup now. I do have a monitor behind me. And sometimes I'm editing and I'm like, this is, I don't know if I want it back there.
I like it.
Because I'm like, is it distracting? Okay, so that's some good feedback that I needed to hear today. Thank you, Monique.
I have an extra monitor and I'm like, I think I'm going to do something like that. So it looks.
You can. It really just, I think someone gave some feedback of, because I did a video on like your on my workspace, on my recording space, and someone said they loved that it kind of shows them a peek into what I might be just working on. Like it's a workspace, so I was like, oh, that's a good thought for So I appreciate that,
and I love that you switch it up. Like I can go and I see different things, so it's definitely tips. I'm taking notes.
And that's testing. So I love that you shared that because we're always testing, we're always testing something new. And it took a lot for me to even do that because there's fear in what if I start creating this new type of content and people don't like it? And you only know if you try it, right? So if you're just starting out, this is your time to try things, like throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And I still am doing that. Different things give us different results. Sometimes, so we started vlogging recently. And when I say we, I mean my partner and I, because we work together in this whole thing. And so in testing vlogs, we realized that retention went up on our videos, right? Or feedback became more consistent. Like people were commenting more, and so you got to try things, you got to test things, and then there are some people that don't like the vlogs, so it's just try things. You just never know like where it's going to take you.
I love it. And you also do, you're the video content queen. Why am I saying you also do this well? But you also have tips on your channel about, affordable editing tools and things like that. So I want to talk about some of the free and affordable editing tools that people can use.
Yes. So you can start off, first of all, your computer comes with something to edit. Even if you're using Windows, there's Media Player. Is it Media Player? I could be wrong about that. I think it is Media Player. Or no. okay, I'm not going to shoot
I'm a
myself
Mac
in my
person,
toe,
so I
but
can't
here's
help
what I
you.
will do. That part, I'm like, if this is wrong, I'm going to take my own advice. I can update you and share about that, right? But I use Mac. That's why I'm like struggling with the Windows comparison. But Mac comes with iMovie, which is free. You can, there's Filmora, which I love. Right. I used that for a really long while while editing, and, they have a really low subscription. I've also worked with Adobe, showing people how to use Adobe Rush, which is a very low subscription as well. I think it's like probably $9.99 a month or something. Like, it's not like insanely crazy, and it's such a beautiful experience. Like, you can do everything in Adobe Rush. I used Final Cut Pro. It was a one-time payment of $300, and that's that. So for me, I love it because it keeps getting updates and upgraded, but I don't have to pay for it anymore. And I'll tell you something, some of these things, like I remember I bought Filmora for like $60 and never had to pay for it again. So if you've been teeter-tottering, like, should I do it? Because a lot of these platforms are moving over to subscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and grandfathered in, or something.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
And
there's also InShot if you're editing from your phone. Sorry, Monique.
InShot.
Yes, InShot. If you're editing from your phone, InShot is absolutely amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna know all of these in the show notes, so you'll have them for those who are listening. And okay, anything else anymore?
Nah, I think that's my go-to. I hope I didn't forget any, but those are like,
Canva.
Oh, wait. Okay.
Come on,
Right. So, but listen, this is my thing. So first of all, you can do so much in Canva. It's one of my favorite tools. It's one of the tools we use every day in the business. We have a team of 5 people, and we're always in Canva, right? So it's one of our central tools. And I even share about it on YouTube because I absolutely love it. And so they're slowly building their video editing. They're getting there, right? So they recently released it. There are a few things, but remember, for me, I'm looking at it from a perspective of this could be better, that could be better. But for basic editing, yes, guys, you can use Canva, right? I'm not going to fully endorse it just yet because, there are a few things that they're working out, or, a few glitches that they might have going on that I might see as an editor. But yeah, you can definitely use Canva to edit.
Okay, so we'll keep that on. You're welcome. We'll keep that on here, and I won't list it in the show notes because you didn't.
Yes, as soon as I think it's good enough, I will go on YouTube and rave about it. So
got it. And XayLi, what are some of the transformations that you've seen in your own business by using, you spoke about that video content, but then also those who take your program. What are some of those transformation stories?
Oh my gosh, so many. I have a client right now who, wow, she took she stepped away from business for a while, just to get some stuff together, and was still garnering people, still building her email list based on her YouTube videos, still growing effortlessly on YouTube without even paying attention to it. I have people that even take in my free content and are able to sign on or attract opportunities that they would have never done if they weren't on camera. I have an amazing client and friend, AC Brown. She's in the online space as well. When she came to me, she never showed her face on her profile. She was one of those people that we shaded on earlier, right through shade at. But she is doing so many amazing things now. Like she's doing so many summits. She is like, everyone is like, oh my gosh, who is AC Brown and how can I work with her? Because she is confidently, like now when I look at her, I'm like, man, I forgot that you even were hiding. Right. And that's what it is. A lot of us are hiding, right? Yeah, I have another client who runs a multi-6-figure business. Her business grew in, I would say, under a year. Yeah, like she hit that 6-figure mark in a year from nothing, and was able to completely just fly. And her price point is a bit, and she's able to convert from YouTube. She's able to guide people into a funnel because I take you through all of that. Like, because video shows up everywhere in your business, right? So it shows up on the outside, but it also shows up on the inside, as in, how are you nurturing your audience? Like, are you emailing them your content that, is educating them? Are you doing webinars? If you're afraid to do video, you're missing so much money all over, like inside of your funnel. How are you upselling? Are you using video content? Like, if you're signing on clients, how can they probably have a little time to meet with you via video before the actual consultation, which is video? Like, so many things are video content, but I really have been able to help people show up and really be seen. My goal is to help other people stop the scroll, because we know how that scroll goes, right? So how are you having your ideal customer or client stop the scroll? Two, when they get to you, they know they want to work with you, right? They have no doubt, no idea. So it's also that you get a better quality of client inside of your inbox, asking how they can work with you, because I already know if I like you or not. And that's a real thing, right? Because sometimes we just don't feel someone's vibe. So I'd rather all that before you come into my inbox to work with me, kind of thing. Our vibe attracts our tribe. And if you're not putting your vibe out there, man, you might attract the wrong tribe.
Yes, I love that. Stop the scroll, and our vibe attracts our tribe. And speaking of some of the things those transformations, I want to talk about the services that you provide and how these are beneficial to business owners who are looking to start their video creation journey, or even beef up their journey and improve their current strategy.
Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. I have the Start Shoot Grow Video Academy, which I open and close for enrollment. So you'll be able to know or learn about that if you're on the wait list, which is on the startshootgrow.com website. And so what I do there, I was going to say back there, because that's the back end where everyone just gets, they just get everything from me. So they get weekly coaching, they get access to all of my courses, all of my tutorials, like all of the things that are really like the nitty gritty of video content. They get into that. The community is mind blowing. It's absolutely amazing. I wouldn't trade them for the world. Right? Yes. And helping these women just get confident on camera intentionally is my jam. And so in doing that, I'm able to help just guide them through that process of getting confident, but also making sure that their products and services are in alignment with what they're creating. I love keeping up with what they're doing and what they have going on out there. So that's the Start Shoot Grow Video Academy. I am launching a new signature course called Master Your Masterclass, because everyone knows me for my masterclasses, right? So, and that is a longer form of video content. So breaking down exactly how to intentionally monetize your masterclasses, or, understanding my masterclass formulas or formats that I use for different situations or scenarios. So really digging into that. And I wasn't even supposed to share that. Wow, look at me just talking away.
Getting the tea. I love it.
I know, right? I'm like, damn, girl. But yes, so that is something that we are launching soon. That I can't tell you how excited I am about it. So super excited about that. And those are the two introductory ways to work with me. And back end, I do help people really one-to-one get really confident, understand their full on video strategy, titling tags, creating a plan for you that is in alignment with what you're selling, how you're showing up, video setups, like set design, all of that stuff. So I do work one-to-one with people on that as well, preparing people for interviews, whether it's television, whether it's podcasts, whether it's, hosting their own shows, like those things I do work one-to-one with people on the back end for.
Love it, love it, love it. And so I want to ask you a couple of questions about you. And I want to start with, in this journey, what has been your greatest risk that you've taken?
I would say moving to Dallas. I lived in New York City for 12 years. I'm originally from Trinidad. I was born in Trinidad. And so I moved to New York City when I was around 16, 17. And I lived there forever. And then one day I decided I want to move. And I moved to Dallas. I had never been here.
Wow.
Whew, God had my back because I love it and I still love it. But that was one of the most risky things. But I could have only done that because of video content. I can't even lie to you.
Wow.
Like, listen, yes. So being able to uproot my entire life and just move and start afresh in a place that I had never been to really, really was just a blessing. And I was able to share that journey with my audience and really, just man. And I know it's crazy because so many people were inspired. People still hit me up and say, I moved to Dallas because of you. And I'm like, girl, what?
That is amazing. Yeah.
Yes, it's so crazy. So that was one of the most risky things that I did. And I'm so thankful that I did it. But yeah.
I love that. And speaking of, inspiration, for someone who's listening, what advice would you give them in their first year of business?
In your first year of business, be open to testing and trying. Don't think that, you have to do what everyone else is doing. Test and try. Be open to testing things. The second thing is stay connected to your audience. Nurture your community. That's so important. A lot of times we just are focused on, our day-to-day, the processes that we're going through, what we're creating. Don't create anything without your people because they're the ones that are going to buy it. So when you're in that phase, be open to testing and trying. Be open to the journey. Open yourself up because let me tell you, just open yourself up to the lessons, the journey, what's happened. Like, just open yourself up and stay deeply connected to your community.
I love it. And any favorite tools, resources, or books that you would advise someone to read?
Oh my gosh, I have too many. I have too many. Oh my gosh. Okay. So Thinkific, I love Thinkific. I'm one of their partners and experts. I'm able to monetize easily using their platform. So I am here for, monetizing your knowledge, right? And so I love that I can do that with their platform. I love, let me see, ConvertKit because I'm able to communicate with my audience and my customers. So I love that tool as well. I love my phone because it allows me to create income out of nowhere. So don't sleep on your phone. If you have it in your hand, you shouldn't because we also need to stay away from them. But
well,
that part. I love Notion as well. So Notion is a tool that I use for really just mapping out my ideas for running my day. I plan all of my videos in Notion. And so, I have so many Notion templates that I actually used for myself and ended up selling and people love them.
Wow.
So for me, I'm like an organization geek or I like processes and things like that, especially as it pertains to my workflow for video content. So Notion is definitely one of them. I can go on. I have a full on equipment because we can really sit here, Monique, and just.
Well, I think we got a good bit. That's good. Any book?
Oh, books. Yes. I love the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. I read that book when I first started and he was like, listen, entrepreneurship is a roller coaster. I'm like, sir, you don't know what you're talking about. I am happy I quit my job. And then the roller coaster started. So that one is one that I really, really love. Another book that I really love is Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice by Dennis Kimbro. Yes. That book is, listen, I have it around me all the time because there's always a word in there for somebody.
Yes.
And the last one that I really love that always gets me right back to where I need to be is Goal Mapping by, it's not Brian Tracy, Brian Moran, I think.
Wow, I'll look that one up. I haven't heard of that one. I like that.
Yeah, no, like that book is so good. It always gets me back to where I need to be. Like those are books that I refer to when I feel lost, which is very often on this journey. If a business owner tells you they don't, they're lying. Because it is a tedious journey. But whenever I feel a bit off or lost, I go back to those books.
That's it. And speaking of feeling off and lost, how are some ways that you take care of yourself in terms of like wellness or de-stress? How do you like to unwind and relax?
Definitely. Which is funny. I have a coach for accountability, and the craziest thing is our conversation is always about how can you slow down? Because I am always on go, and it's because I love what I do. It's genuinely because of that. But I would say, first of all, working out. If I'm feeling off or lost or I'm confused, working out always gets me back to where I need to be, right? So that's my form of just sanity, maintaining sanity, right? So that's the first thing, working out. Make sure that you're working out. Make sure that you're eating well and nourishing your body. Those things are non-negotiables. And so there's that. And winding down, I've taken to putting my phone away from me and reading to fall asleep again. I used to do that like growing up, and then you get caught up in the scroll,
yes.
Right? So your phone, at least an hour before you are looking to wind down to go to bed, get rid of it. Like, please do.
Get rid of the thing.
Throw it somewhere. Like, it's just, it's horrible.
I love that.
So, yes, those two things.
And XayLi, what does it mean to you for you to be Black in business?
Man, that is such a great question. For me, listen, we have so many things that are holding us back as it pertains to mindset, as it pertains to a trauma, as it pertains to things that we've been told and gone through. Being Black in business for me is being able to pull others up, because it's not easy. Or even, I think my journey is really about giving other people permission. Because, sometimes we're so amazing and we've been told, such horrendous things throughout our journey, right? In between other people telling us and us telling ourselves, because, self-talk is, listen. So, giving us, because sometimes even I'll work with clients sometimes and all they needed was like, some people come to me and the personality on camera is fantabulous. Okay. And I'm like, why are you here? They just needed permission. And then, of course, we can tweak a few things. We can introduce them to workflows and things to make the process easier or whatever it is. But a lot of people just need permission. And my Black woman out there, we've been told so many things about our hair, our appearance, our noses, all the things. And so even for me, as a Black woman, even when people find me on YouTube, they're always like, oh my gosh, a Black woman in this space, in this tech space, in this software space, in this business space. And so for me, it's about showing others that they're able to do this as well and giving them the tools and instruction to do so.
I love that. I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And XayLi, where can people find you so that they can connect with you and support you?
Of course. I'm at XayLi Barclay everywhere. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I'd love if you subscribe on the YouTube channel and tell me that Monique sent you so that I can thank her.
Tell her that I sent you. Love it. Yes. Support everyone.
That part.
Love it. Well, this has been so amazing. I've got tons of notes. I've taken away tons of gems and you've given so much. So I really appreciate you for being on this show. So thank you.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Monique. I'm excited.
Of course. So for everyone else listening, until next time. This conversation with XayLi reminds me of a conversation with one of my old business coaches. And I remember telling her, I don't like doing this. I don't like doing that in my business. It's just too much. And I remember her telling me that it's not what I personally like, but what's best for my audience and what's best for the business. She then went on to tell me that I had to think of my business as a client, and she told me that if I was your client right now, I'd fire you. And I'll be honest and say that in that moment, my immediate thoughts were, who do you think you're talking to? And I'm inserting all the neck rolls that you can imagine. But I had to have a moment of honesty with myself and think, are you really showing up in the best way for your audience, for your business when it comes to creating content? And I knew that deep down inside, I wasn't. I wasn't showing up fully because it was something that was me, but I also had this fear that it wasn't going to be perfect. And today's conversation with XayLi was a reminder that it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get started and you'll get better over time. And when it comes to creating video content, the message was also apparent today that the quality of your content is what matters. You want to make sure that you're providing great value and worry about getting fancy later. I also love that XayLi gave tips on starting by using just what you have, as simple as a blank wall in your own space. She gave tips on how to start with the bare minimum when it comes to equipment and tech, so be sure to check out the full show notes at blacktobusiness.com/74, in which we list our resources. Another thing I want to leave you with is that if you're just starting out or just introducing video content in your business, I'm here right with you. So let's do it together. I personally gained so much from this conversation because it's something that I've held off on with Black to Business, but my goal is to take baby steps and introduce video content for us next year. So in the meantime, make sure that you're following us on YouTube and Instagram at Black to Business to stay in the loop of what we have planned. As always, thank you so much for listening, and it brings me great joy that you listened all the way to the end, so I'm going to assume that this conversation was valuable for you. If you would be so kind to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and share this episode with a friend. See you next week, same time, same place.